Here at Tidwell55 here, been noticing some discussions on YouTube about malware, viruses, Trojans, and I noticed that a lot of people are confused about the terminology, and I want to sort of set the record straight on that. Now, here are my references. Basically, everything I'm talking about comes straight out of Wikipedia, so you can fire up Wikipedia and take a look and verify my source if you feel so inclined. First of all, when we're talking about this, basically we're talking about malware. Now, malware is a broad category. Again, from Wikipedia, it's basically the word malware comes from the combination of the words malicious and software, and that's exactly what it is. It's software that is designed to basically get into your system and make your computer system act in a way that you or the owner of the system does not want it to act, and it's usually done without your consent. Okay, malware takes many forms, including viruses, spyware, rootkits, Trojans, and worms. And there's other terms out here, but I've only got 10 minutes, so I'm only going to go into these 5 in any depth. Okay, viruses. Now, again, from Wikipedia, it's a computer program that can copy itself and infect a computer without permission or knowledge of the user, and that's pretty much the thing that sets a virus apart from other types of malwares, because a virus is self-replicating. It can copy itself. Now, viruses need some other means to propagate, a vector, if you will. Primary vectors for viruses are email attachments and removable media, like floppy disks, for those of you who still use floppy disks, removable USB drives, CDs, whatever. What I like to call the sneaker net. Okay. Moving on. Spyware, on the other hand, it's computer software that is designed to record something off of your computer, either your web viewing habits or your keystrokes or whatever, and report that activity to a third party usually for the financial benefit of whoever was responsible for writing the program and getting it deployed on your computer. Like I say here, it's a broad category. It's a broad definition that, depending on how you look at it, can include browser cookies, and definitely includes keylogging software that actually records your keyboard, your keystrokes, and your mouse movements. Reason why I include browser cookies in this category is because if you think about what they do, you go to a website, it puts a cookie in your browser cache, and the website does that so that it can track your usage and gain data on your web browsing habits. So that, by definition, is spyware. And you know, if you don't believe me, if you use a Windows system, download a program called Spybot Search and Destroy. Spybot Search and Destroy will scan your system, and if you haven't cleaned out your browser cache, it will report your browser cookies, as spyware. So anyway, that's broadly what spyware is. Basically, it's any program that records what you do on the computer and can send that data to another party. All right, now rootkits. Now, rootkits are some of the oldest malware that's out there. You know, and basically it's a program that gains administrative access on a Windows system, or root access on a Unix or a Linux system, and without authorization of the system's owner or legitimate manager. Now, when you're talking computer security, and you're talking rootkits, are probably one of the most dangerous pieces of malware that's out there because of its administrative or root access. Now, a lot of fans of Unix or Linux type operating systems like to talk about how the basic design of their operating system makes them inherently more secure than say a Windows system, which is probably true, but keep in mind that rootkits were first deployed against Unix systems. So that just goes to show you that there's no such thing as a secure operating system. So, although I will say that modern Unix and Linux operating systems are security model is better and than back in the Stone Age, and it is harder to get a rootkit installed on one of those systems. Alright, the next two categories I'm going to talk about are malware, but they're not viruses or spyware per se, but they are vectors that can install that stuff on your system. First one I'm going to talk about are Trojans, or Trojan horses. Basically, it's a program that masquerades as a helpful or a useful program, but actually deploys a virus or spyware on your system. Now, Trojans, you can download them straight off the internet. You can, like viruses, you might get them in an email attachment. A lot of times they masquerade as a .exe or .com or .bat files from Windows system. And like I said, Trojans are primarily a vector for other malware. And finally, because I think I'm running out of time, I want to talk a little bit about worm. Now, worm, like virus, is self-replicating, but unlike a virus, it doesn't need another piece of software or anything else to move around. A worm can actually move over a network and send copies over a network itself, which makes it really, really dangerous to networks, because if you remember a couple of years ago, there's this thing called the blaster worm. Started, I think ground zero for blaster was somewhere in Korea, and it just spread, and it took down the internet on the entire Pacific Rim for a couple of days because it specifically targeted Cisco routers. And it's, I think that was blaster. I might be thinking of something else. But anyway, worms, primarily a threat to network traffic because they can clog down network traffic, and widespread denial of service attack can be used with worm. And worm, because of its nature, can be used to deploy other malware, spyware, or other viruses. Okay, well that wraps this up. Like I said, I got pretty much all of this information off of Wikipedia. Thanks for watching.